The children's fears began to turn grim. A week and a half later, Mom was still not at home. Perhaps Dad was lying to them. Maybe Mom died in the hospital, and Dad didn't care enough to tell the kids. Hello, welcome to In My Words. The book I am reading from is titled The Monster We Call Dad by D.A. Riles. This book is not intended for young readers. After each reading session, I will briefly give information about a chosen plant. I hope through my words you will gain insight, knowledge, and a deeper appreciation and understanding of this mysterious and intricate world. Though the road may be long and hard, compassion and beauty can be gained through the enjoyment of nature and experiencing its wondrous gifts. Thank you for joining me. Slipping back into his mind, Thomas felt an overwhelming urge pass through his body. A feeling of diverse pleasure coursed through his veins upon seeing his children quake with the fear and apprehension as he sent them away from their beloved mother. Darkness came when Dad finally told the children that they could come in the house. As the 4 older children entered, Dad kicked each one in the butt, saying with hatred, "If you ever pull a stunt like that again, I will kill you." They knew he meant it. However, to the children, they had no idea what Dad was talking about, for they had done nothing other than what he had told them to do. Johnny had followed in Sarah's wake, but instead of a kick, Dad patted him on the head, saying, "I'll get you ready for bed tonight." Johnny smiled obliviously and walked on. Thomas's 3rd son was too young to understand many of the things which took place in the household, so was fortunately spared any brutality done by his dad. Quickly the children used the bathroom and then began to file up to their beds. As they did so, Thomas yelled to their backs, "You little effers better get right to bed, or I'll come up there and beat the SH out of you." They did as they were told. The night was never ending. The children wanted to get out of bed to see if Mom was all right, but they knew they could not, for fear of causing greater harm to come her way or theirs. Finally, Dad had to leave for work. It was 1 a.m. when the 4 older children crept from their beds. As they came down the stairs, they heard a jingling sound. Rounding the corner, they saw Mom grabbing the car keys. Without expression, she said, "I'm going to the hospital. I'll be back soon." Mom did go to the hospital, yet she was not back soon. 1 full week passed, and still Mom did not return. The children were very concerned for their mom. They needed to know where she was and if she was all right. Finally, they had to ask Dad. Sarah was chosen to ask the question. Since she was almost the youngest, maybe Dad would be a bit more willing to listen to her. Walking out to the garage where Dad was working on the car, Sarah asked, "Dad, when is Mom coming home?" "Don't know, don't care." His response was cold and callous, not even bothering to look up from his work to acknowledge his daughter's presence. "Is she okay?" the little girl persisted. "Yep, now get out of here before you piss me off." Sarah did. The children's fears began to turn grim. A week and a half later, Mom was still not at home. Perhaps Dad was lying to them. Maybe Mom died in the hospital, and Dad didn't care enough to tell the kids. Finally, after 2 weeks, Mom did return home. She said nothing to anyone as she entered the house. Dad was eating at the table and the children were doing homework. Glad to see Mom, the children wanted to run and greet her, but she didn't seem glad to be home. All went on as usual. Dad continued his meal. The kids finished their homework and went to bed. No one acknowledged each other's presence. Months later, the children found out that Mom had 3 broken ribs and the rest of her ribs were badly bruised. She had stayed with Grandma and Grandpa Nye, giving her battered body time to heal. Number 4, slit planting. This is an expeditious mode of planting and much used where large quantities of suckers and nursery plants are to be planted. In performing it, one person having a line set up or marked forms a crevice in the direction of the mark. He then draws his spade out and forms another by crossing the former in the middle. A boy following him puts the sucker in at the crossing place and finishes the operation by pressing the earth together with his foot. I think in this book so far, at least in this section, they are doing a pretty good job at describing almost step by step what needs to be done. Number 5, drill planting. The drills or trenches are drawn by a hoe at the distance and depth the seed requires. The seed is dropped in and generally covered by manual labor. Bulbous roots and large seeds such as walnuts and beans are frequently planted in this manner. Number 6, bedding in planting. In this mode of planting, the soil has been first prepared by digging and pulverizing it thoroughly, is formed into beds 3 or 4 feet wide with alleys between them. The earth is then raked off the surface of each bed into the alleys, and the planting being performed, it is again spread over the surface. The depth to which the soil is drawn off must be determined by what the seed or roots to be planted require. Bulbous roots and large seeds are frequently thus planted. Number 7, furrow planting consists in the use of the plow and the harrow, and is only employed when large tracts of ground are employed for one kind of produce. See agriculture, which is in another part of the book. Number 8, dibbling. The principal difference between the dibbling of the gardener and that of the agriculturist is that the former does not close the earth by the subsequent use of the harrow, but uses the dibble or setting stick to press it together to fix the plants as he proceeds. Herbaceous, shrubby, and fibrous rooted plants are very commonly set in this manner, as well as a great number of seeds. Number 9, trowel planting. This is easily and expeditiously performed with a garden trowel, which serves both to take up the plant and to make the hole for its reception. A quantity of earth is usually taken up along with the plant, and a little water is used to render it less liable to droop. Number 10, planting with balls of earth about the roots. This practice consists in the removal of a plant or tree with as much as possible of the soil containing its roots. It is employed for all tender plants and for the most hardy when they are transplanted at a season improper for the operation, as in summer. The best time for planting transplants is generally spring or the autumn. I would like to add a comment here. I am having difficulty reducing the S sound in my podcast. If any of you know how to do it, either through Audacity or some other free recording, please let me know. For my recordings either have a very sharp S sound in them, or they end up sounding as if I have a lisp. So if any of you know how to correct this issue, please leave your comment below and I will look into it. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I look forward to having you join me again next time, where I will highlight another plant, and I will continue to read from the book titled The Monster We Call Dad by D.A. Riles, which you can purchase from Amazon.com. Thank you for having joined me.